Uh, so good morning, students. So we'll start today's GATE class. So today what we are going to see is the topic of information theory, mutual information, and channel capacity. So mutual information and channel capacity. Uh, Students, am I audible for you, students? Any volunteers? Am I audible for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for your response, ma. Thank you. Uh, so today's class, as we have seen, will be seeing information theory. So information theory, so it is related with the mutual information, channel capacity. So all transmission of information bits into a binary channel or a deterministic channel or a lossless channel or something like that. So this is what we'll be seeing today. So as you know, information is nothing but it is self-information. That is what you mean by information theory. Information is nothing but it is self-information. So it is always analyzed in terms of the logarithmic scale. Okay. So information theory. So whenever an information is generated from an information source, and if we process all the information, so it comes as information theory. And then mutual information, when you transmit over a particular channel, what is the relation between the input section and the output section? As we know, we have binary bits, input 0 and 1 for a channel. So this is what actually. So this is mutual information. So as you know, mutual information theory and channel capacity, they are most probably defined in terms of the block diagram of the digital communication system. Block diagram of digital communication system. So the block diagram of digital communication system, as you are all aware of, uh, it is going to have the information source. It is going to have the information source. You are going to have the uh, coding actually, coding section. Then you will be having the source coder, channel coder. Okay, then you have to be transmitting the bits into the communication channel, and then you'll be having the destination. So information source, it generates a sequence of message symbols, and then you'll be going in for removing the redundancy by using source coding, either through Huffman coding or Shannon-Fano coding. And then you'll be having after source coding the channel coding section, and then you'll be having the communication channel. And after the communication channel, then in the receiver you will be having the reverse process of so source coding and channel coding and so on. Okay, in the channel you can have the addition of the noise. So the noise is considered to be random probability distribution. So it is Gaussian or normally distributed. Okay. So as I said, you'll be having the decoder section. So source coding, reverse process of source coding is a decoding. And then if you go in for channel coding, you'll be having also the concept of Viterbi decoding here in the receiver. It depends upon the encoder which you're going to use in the transmitter. Either you can go in for a linear block code, or you can go in for a convolution encode in the channel encoder, or you can go in for a Viterbi decoder corresponding to a convolution encoder in the transmitter. Okay. Okay. So as you know, this is the information. So information I of xj is logarithm on the inverse of the probability of occurrence of an event. So P of xj. So the amount of information defined always in terms of probability. So I of xj is equal to log base to 1 by P of xj. So since we are using binary zeros and ones for transmission of information corresponding to the probability, corresponding to the source probabilities. Okay, so it is in base 2 1 by P of x. This is self information. As you know, log base 2, it is always analyzed in terms of log base 10x by log base 10 2. Okay, students, is my screen sharing for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you, thank you, thanks for your response. Uh, So this is information source. So most probably I'll try to reduce less on the theory part, and probably I'd like to go into the problems which will be useful for your GATE exams. So, so as you know, entropy is uncertainty or average information content per source symbol. So entropy H or H of X is the measure of average information content per source symbol. It is given by the expression that is, so the summation of p of xi log base to 1 by p of xi. So where log base to 1 by p of xi is nothing but it is the, well, log base to 1 by p of xi is nothing but it is the actually the mm, it is actually the self information. Okay, so it is actually the self information. So where log base to where log base 2 represents the corresponding binary transmission of ones and zeros. So where pa is the probability that will occur at a particular outcome. Okay, so log base 2 shows the amount of information event and it is inversely proportional to the self information. So you can expect problems based on entropy in the GATE exams. So you can just do that. Okay, so this is a simple problem which you are already aware of. So as you know, a source symbol has these probabilities. So the sum of all the probability of the source symbol, it is equal to 1. Okay, and if they are equally likely means it is 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So now here it is given something like this. So entropy H of X is nothing but pk log base 2 uh, 1 by pk. So k is equal to the value, since it is 3 values 1 2 3. So this instance the value is 1 2 3. So so if you just substitute and you'll be able to get around this value 1.2950 bits per symbol. Okay, so as you know, log base 2 it can be represented by using this particular representation. So log base 2 is nothing but log base 10x by log base 10 2. So if you're going for any competitive technical examinations like a GATE examination or other exams, so you'll be expecting problems in information theory with the channel values. Okay, so this is a simple problem how to calculate the entropy of the source. We'll pass on to the next one. Likewise, if you have an event that has 6 possible outcomes with probabilities 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 32, 1 by 32, find the entropy of the system. So the entropy of the system, so it is nothing but the same problem actually. So in comparison to the previous one, but here you have 6 possible outcomes. So just like a throw of a coin for getting a head or tail, or just like a throw of a fair die to get a face of 4 or anything. So this is the corresponding result which you can obtain for the entropy of this particular 6 possible outcomes. Okay, likewise, so if you have a source generates 3 messages, with probabilities 0.5, 0.25, 0.25. The source entropy H of X is nothing but H of X. It can these options are given, so you can expect problems like this in the GATE exam. Okay, so either choice, so you have to work out and you have to find out. Okay, so the source generates 3 messages with probabilities this. So the answer will be actually this is 1.5 bits per symbol. Okay, we'll pass on to the next one. So just like as I earlier said, entropy calculation of a throw of a coin to get a head or tail, of a throw of a fair die. So tossing a dice, so find the entropy of the information in tossing a fair die. Okay, so either you can have the entropy formula in terms of positive or the entropy formula in terms of a negative one. So here it is given as negative, so p of xi log base to p of xi, or if it is not minus abdina, it will be actually what to say, now 1 by log base to p of xi, something like that. So you'll be able to use either of these representations. So you'll be getting the entropy as 2.585 bits actually. So now another question which you can expect something like this in the GATE exam. When is the average information delivered by a source alphabet size of size 2 which is maximum? Okay, so the average information is maximum when the 2 messages are equally likely. So the average information is maximum when the 2 messages are equally likely. So equally likely in the sense, so 0.5 and 0.5, so 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So then the maximum average information is given as h max is 1 by 2 log base to 2 plus 1 by 2 log base to 2, which is nothing but 1 bit per message, which is 1 bit per message. So the answer is given here. Okay, so we can expect any sort of problems. Okay, so with respect to entropy, you need to know what is source coding theorem. Source coding theorem for a discrete memory law states that the average code word length L bar for any distortionless source and encoding scheme is greater than the entropy of the source. Entropy of the source. So according to the source coding theorem, h of x represents a fundamental limit on the average number of bits per source symbol necessary to represent a discrete memoryless source. So it can be made as small as possible, but not smaller than the entropy h of x. Okay, so you can know what is L bar. Okay, L bar is average code word length in bits, and h of x is entropy. So you can expect the analysis case of what to say the source coding theorem. The analysis case of the source coding theorem. So as you know, what are these types of source coding theorem? So you have Shannon-Fano coding, Huffman coding, okay, and there are the various other things. So Lempel-Zip coding you have, okay, all these various possibilities you have. So if you take Shannon-Fano coding, so you need to obtain what is the code words so that you can reduce redundancy. So an efficient code can be obtained by the following simple procedure known as Shannon-Fano algorithm. So list the source symbols in decreasing order of probability. Then partition the set into two sets that are as close to equiprobable as possible and assign 0 to the upper set and 1 to the lower set. Okay, so continue this process and each time partitioning the sets with as nearly equal probabilities as possible until further partitioning is not possible. So this is a Shannon-Fano coding actually. Then as you are all aware of the Huffman coding method. Okay, so Huffman coding method, so you can expect problems in GATE exam using source coding, either Shannon-Fano coding or Huffman coding or even Lempel-Zip coding. Okay, so it is a coding process that is used to maximize the efficiency by assigning different number of binary digits to the messages. Okay, so it is efficient coding or minimum redundancy code. So you have the same procedure or algorithm starting to Shannon-Fano coding. The first step is the same. So arrange the source symbols or messages in descending or decreasing order of probabilities in the first stage. So add the last two symbols into one symbol by assigning a binary 0 and 1. So rearrange the symbols in descending order of probability in comparison to the second stage. So again add two symbols into one symbol by assigning binary 0 and 1. The sum probability in the second stage is placed in the third stage after arranging the symbols in descending order. So this process is repeated till no further repetition is required. So you can find out what is it, but then you can place the combined symbols as high as possible or as low as possible, and the code word is obtained by reversing the traced path for least significant bit to most significant bit. And then calculate average length of code word L bar and entropy and efficiency, redundancy and variance sigma square. Okay. Then what we'll do is we'll just pass on to mutual information. We just pass on to mutual information. So mutual information, as you know, it is nothing but the representation between the input section and the output section for a particular channel. What is the amount of information flow going from one particular input section to output section? So I of a comma b is nothing but either you can have h of b minus h of b by a, or you can have h of a minus h of a by b. So this b by a or this a by b, this a by b or b by a is nothing but conditional entropy. Mutual information is the conditional entropy, or what you can say, it is the noise entropy. So given a, when the input a is given, if we take a to be the input, if given input a, what is known as what is b actually? Now given input a, what is the received output b? So input is a and output is b. Likewise in this case, the input is going to be b and the output is going to be a. Likewise you can have vice versa. Okay, so this is in terms of conditional entropy, and then this formula is in terms of joint entropy. So combiningly, when you have the input section and the output section, you'll be having what is the joint entropy h of a comma b. Okay, so maximizing the mutual information is equivalent to minimizing the joint entropy. So advantage in using mutual information over the joint entropy is that it includes the individual inputs entropy. So this is mutual information. So please try to make sure you can have mutual information and self information. So already we have seen what is self information. Self information in terms of log base 2 only with respect to the input. So mutual means the output will also come into picture. Okay, so if you go for any competitive exams, probably you can expect questions on this. Okay, either in the technical side. Okay. Okay, now properties of mutual information. So mutual information I of x comma y of a channel is defined by in terms of already we have seen. So this formula is similar to the previously written one. So there we had a comma b, here it is written as x comma y. Okay, so h of x minus h of x by y bits per symbol. So h of x is the entropy of source. So as I said, conditional entropy. Then properties of mutual information. Okay, so properties of mutual information, I of x comma y is equal to I of y comma x. So symmetric property. So input comma output is equal to output comma input. So both are the same. Then always mutual information is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Likewise, you can have mutual information represented in terms of conditional entropy, and this is joint entropy. So the same thing, it is also being given here so that you can have a clear view of what is mutual information. Okay. Then what is information rate? So information rate, how much information can be processed into a channel, or how much information can be processed from a source, or what is the rate at which the information symbols are emitted. If the time rate at which source x emits symbols, so it is considered to be the information rate. So information rate R is equal to R into capital H of x. So H of x is the entropy and R symbols per second. Okay, so R symbols per second. So given a particular time period, you can have either a single bit or a group of bits which are called as symbols, or even a single bit is referred to as a symbol. Okay, H of x is the entropy of the source actually. Okay. Then the channel types. Okay, so if you look into the channel types, so the channel types are, you have memoryless channel. The memoryless channel, the probability of error is independent from one symbol to the next one. Independent from one symbol to the next symbol. Then you have the symmetric channel. So symmetric in the sense both input and output you're going to have the same value. For example, P of given J. Given J is nothing but it is the input actually. Transmitted is J, received is I. Okay, that is what I represent. Then likewise, P of J by I. J by I means I is transmitted, that is the input, and J is the output, or it is the voltage, which is the received one. Okay, and likewise you can have this one, additive white Gaussian noise channel. So additive white Gaussian noise channel, for example, what I'd like to stress is actually, so additive white noise channel, the best example what you can have is, probably I like to type in here, example, noise due to electron movement. Students, is my screen sharing for you? Noise due to electron movement. Noise due to electron movement, that is, for example, PCB noise. PCB noise. So noise due to electron movement in a conductor. Example, PCB noise. So this type of channels you can have. So PCB noise in a particular circuitry. So one second, students. So this is one second. So this is a PCB noise. So PCB noise. Students, is my screen sharing for you? Okay, students. Okay. So the channel types. So you have likewise the channel capacity. So the channel capacity is a discrete memoryless channel. So channel capacity is always considered to be what to say. The channel capacity is of a discrete memoryless channel is the amount of channel capacity of discrete memoryless channels defined as the maximum of mutual information. So I of x comma y in any single use channel where maximization is over all possible input probability distributions p of xj. So C is nothing but maximization of mutual information x comma y. Okay. Um, Likewise, where p of xj is the input probability and c is the channel capacity measured in bits per transmission. Okay, so this is the channel capacity. So while going in for channel capacity, what I'd like to stress is that if you have channel capacity means, so channel capacity is nothing but mutual information. So if you want to know mutual information, so this is nothing but I of x comma y of x comma y the mutual information I of mutual information I of x comma y the mutual information I of x comma y. So mutual information I of x comma y is nothing but it is the how to say, this is the entropy. So this is the entropy of the source, entropy of the source, and this is entropy of the source. So this is entropy of the source. So you have this one. So entropy of the source. Okay. Okay. So this is the entropy of the source. So the entropy of the source. So mutual information. This is the entropy of the source. Likewise, if you want to know what is the conditional entropy, so if you want to calculate the h of x is the entropy. This is the entropy. H of x is the entropy, and h of x by y is nothing but it is the so likewise you can have like this. Okay, so this is the entropy, and so you have the channel capacity to be calculated like this. So then if you want to find out the channel capacity with respect to, if you want to find out the channel capacity with respect to Shannon's theorem, Shannon's Hartley theorem. So C is equal to B log base to 1 plus S by N. So where C is the channel capacity and B is the channel bandwidth. C is the channel capacity, B is the channel bandwidth, and S by N is nothing but it is the signal to noise ratio. X by N is nothing but the signal to noise ratio of the channel, often expressed in decibels. So it is all in terms of 10 log base 10. It's often expressed in terms of 10 log 10 log base 10, but only for analysis it is represented as log base 2. Okay, so for example, if you want to calculate what is the channel capacity, if you want to calculate what is the channel capacity, so the channel capacity is nothing, bandwidth is nothing but 3200 hertz. 3200 hertz. Okay. and 3200 hertz. So S by N is nothing but it is considered to be S by N is 30 dBs. S by N is 30 dBs, and if you just take the anti-log value, if you just take the anti-log value, so it is considered to be around 1000. So if it's given as 30 dB, now you have to take the anti-log value. See, for instance, if you want to calculate what is the anti-log of, for example, anti-log of 30 dBs. If you want to take the anti-log of 30 dBs, so this is nothing but it is 10 power 30 by 10. 10 power 30 by 10. So 10 power 30 by 10. So this is what 30 dB. So generally 10 power 30 dB, it comes to around 10 power 10 raised to 10 raised to 30. 10 raised to 3 actually. So it comes around 1000. So please make sure. So how to find out the anti-log? So you can find out what is the channel capacity. So the channel capacity is found to be. So this is the channel capacity. This channel capacity is found to be around. It is found to be around 31.895 kilobits per second. Okay. So now the next another possible analysis which you can have is, which you can expect in competitive exams like GATE exam, is that. So what is the capacity of a channel having infinite bandwidth? Okay, so what is the capacity of a channel having infinite bandwidth? So C is nothing but log base to 1 plus S by N naught into B. Okay, so when the Shannon's theorem of channel capacity is applied specifically to a channel, noise is Gaussian, it is known as Shannon-Hartley theorem. So this is what we have seen. So if bandwidth approaches infinity, so C is nothing but it is 1.44 into S by N, where S by N is signal to noise ratio. So this is actually an analysis which you have to be aware of. This is actually an analysis which you have to be aware of. Then the next possibility which you can have is so you know what are the types of channels. So you can have channels in terms of, okay, so channel types. The channel types. Binary symmetric channel. You can have binary symmetric channel and binary eraser channel. A binary symmetric channel and binary eraser channel. So binary eraser channel, so there is going to be actually a loss of data, actually the data will be erased. Okay, so binary eraser channel, impairment like packet loss can be viewed as erasures. So that is the data is lost, actually impairment like packet loss can be viewed as erasures. Okay, the data are erased and it refers the data are lost during transmission. Okay, so this is the corresponding representation. Okay. Okay. So where P is the packet loss rate. So when you transmit as 0 and if it is received as it is 0, the corresponding probability is similar to that of the symmetric probability P of y by 0. So it is similar to that of what to say the binary symmetric channel. When you transmit a 0 and it is given as 0, likewise when you transmit a 1 and it is given as 1, so it is considered to be 1 minus P. Likewise, you can have in comparison to the binary symmetric channel, so conditional entropy. So when you transmit a 0 and when there is a packet loss, P of E by 0 is nothing but P. So likewise, when you transmit a 1 and there is also a packet loss. So this is also a P of probability of E given 1. Okay. So channel capacity. Then the binary symmetric channel. Okay, so binary symmetric channel, the types of channel: binary symmetric channel. So binary symmetric channel and binary eraser channel. Eraser channel already we have seen earlier. Then the binary symmetric channel. So binary symmetric channel capacity is nothing but C is nothing but 1 plus P log base to P plus 1 minus P log base to 1 minus P. So the capacity of the binary symmetric channel goes in this, and the capacity of the binary eraser channel comes out to be 1 minus P. Okay, so various types of problems you can expect in thing. So these type of terminologies you need to be aware of. Okay. Now we'll see a gate problem. See the channel capacity for a binary symmetric channel. So the capacity of a binary symmetric channel with crossover probability 0.5. So the answer you need to find out. So this is nothing but 1 minus h of p. So the crossover probability h of p here is considered to be the entropy function. H of p is the entropy function with crossover probability. Students, can you tell what is crossover probability? So actually crossover probability is nothing but it is the conditional probability. When you transmit a 0, so this probability is actually the crossover probability. Okay. For example, this probability is nothing but the crossover. When you transmit a 0, and in case if there is a packet loss, what is this? And in case when you transmit a 1, if there is a packet loss, what is this? Okay. And the conditional probability is never personal to be as the crossover probability. So h of p is nothing but it is 1 by 2 log base to 1 by 0.5 plus 1 by 2. So they are both the probability 0 and 1 are equally likely to occur. So hence the corresponding probabilities are 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So you can have the crossover probability is given here. The crossover probability is given here. So 0.5, 0.5. So the capacity is nothing but h of p comes to a value of 1. 1 minus 1, it is nothing but 0. Okay, so this is a gate example like problem. Okay. Then the capacity of a band limited additive white Gaussian noise channel. The capacity of a band limited additive white Gaussian noise channel is given by C is nothing but W log base to 1 plus P by sigma square W bits per second, where W is the channel bandwidth, P is the average power received, and sigma square is the one-sided power spectral density of the AWGN for a fixed signal to noise ratio value. So power by P is nothing but the signal power. Sigma square is nothing but it is the what to say, it is the noise power. So signal power by noise power. So it is given as 1000. So the channel capacity with the infinite bandwidth. Okay, so here we have seen already at a concept of what is the capacity of a channel having infinite bandwidth. So it is just to just interrelate this concept of what is the bandwidth of what is the channel capacity if the bandwidth is infinity. So here it is given as 1.44 and S by n. Likewise, if you approach this particular problem, see here, so capacity is nothing but it is so the bandwidth tends to infinity. So here you can have either B or W. So it is nothing but it is a B log base to 1 plus B log base to 1 plus what to say P by sigma square into B. So either you can have B here, or in this problem here it is given as W. So this is W is nothing but this W which is given here. So W tends to infinity. So just replacing log base 2. So replacing log base 2 by limited W tends to infinity. So here it is in terms of omega, or you can have W. So it is W here. So W ln of 1 plus P by sigma square W by ln 2. So if you just simplify and solve further, so it is 1 by ln 2. So this 1 by ln 2 is taken out 1 by ln 2 into limit ln of 1 plus P by sigma square W. So this expression is further simplified and such a way that so limit omega or w tends to infinity. So if you just further simplify this, and if you use this particular representation, limit omega tends to infinity ln of 1 plus x by x, so this is equal to 1. So this is nothing but finally it comes around to p by sigma square ln 2. So see, straight away you can use this particular representation. See, c is nothing but 1.44 s by n. So if you know all these statistics, so this sort of a problem, if it is asked in a gate exam or if it is a gate exam problem, straight away you can note down. So that is why I have given here. So what is the channel capacity? So please try to know this sort of analysis like questions for any competitive exam or gate exam. Okay, so this is what I would like to tell students. Students, do you have any doubts in this? If you have any doubts, you can just clarify so that you can clarify and ask. Okay. So this problem we have seen, and also there are some problems with respect to what to say. You can expect problems with respect to Huffman coding or Shannon fading, which you are all aware of. Okay. So now, for example, we will see this cascade problem. So you have two binary symmetric channels. You have two binary symmetric channels. A binary random variable x takes the value of y with probability 1 by 3. X is input to a cascade of two independent identical binary symmetric channel BSC, each with crossover probability of 1 by 2. The outputs of a binary symmetric channel are the random variables. The outputs of binary symmetric channels are random variables y1, y2 as shown in the figure. Okay, so y1, y2 shown in the figure. What is the entropy of y1 and y2? So what is the combined entropy, h of y1 and h of y2? So as you know, BSC is nothing but it is a binary symmetric channel. BSC is nothing but it is a binary symmetric channel. BSC is binary symmetric channel. So the value of h of y1 plus h of y2. Okay, so value of h of y1 plus h of y2. Value of h of y1 plus h of y2. So we have the probability given in the problem. So we have the probability given in the problem. A binary random variable x takes the value of 1 with probability x is input to a cascade of two independent channels. So p of x, and what is p of x with respect to 0 and p of x with respect to 1. So it is 1 by 3 and to 2 by 3, so that the entire probability is 1. To find h of y1. So to find h of y1, we need to know what is the output probability. What is p of y1 equal to 0 and p of y2 is equal to 1. Okay, so p of y1 equal to 0. So p of y1 is equal to 0, and it's nothing but it is the multiplication of the probability when you transmit as 0 and it is received as 0 and into the input probability, plus when you transmit a binary 1 and it is received as 0 and along with the input probability for p of x is equal to 1. So from the given values, so you can have 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2 into 2 by 3. So 2 by 3, of course, 1 by 3 and 2 by 3 are, of course, it is straightforwardly found out, and you can find out what is p of y1 equal to 0. Likewise, p of y1 equal to 1 by 2. P of y1 equal to 1 by 2. P of y1 equal to 1 by 2. So log base 2, 2. 1 by 2 log base to 2 is equal to 1. So similarly, p of y2. So p of y2 is equal to 1 by 2 and p of y2 is equal to 1. So you can find out all these things, and h of y1. So h of y1 is found out to be 1 and h of y2 is found out from straight away this output probability. So finally, if you add this, you'll be getting 2 bits. So you can also expect problems of this particular type. So in any analysis based problems you can expect in GATE exams. Okay. Now, next we'll try to find out somewhat problems on this particular channel capacity. So consider the Z channel given in this particular diagram. So you have input 0 and output 0. Input 0 and output 0. Likewise, input 1 and output 1. So this is a somewhat a binary symmetric channel like representation. Okay, so given the Z channel, okay, the input is either 0 or 1 with the probability. If the output is 0, the output probability, if the output is 0, the probability their input is also 0 equals, so you need to find out what is the value. Okay, so we have need to find out what is P of given 0, what is x0. Okay, so determine P of x is equal to 0 and given P of y equal to 0. So to find out this, so P of y equal to 0 given x is equal to 0 and P of x0 by P of y0. So P of y0 it is given. So P of y0 it needs to be found out. So P of x0 given y0. See, this is when you transmit x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0 as you receive as the output. So y0 by x0, this is nothing but 1. So this value is written here. Then P of x is equal to 0. Since it is equal probability, it is 1 by 2. 1 into 1 by 2 divided by. So what is the output P of y0? So P of y0 is nothing but you'll be having this particular input to come into here, and this particular thing will also come here. So this is nothing but what 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 plus what to say 1 into 0.25. So that is what is written here. See, so from this diagram itself straight away you can write. So if you do this, so can you understand, students? So this is what to say, a very simple one. So given x0 y0 into P of x0, then given P of y equal to 0, so this is nothing but 1 into 1 by 2, so divided by this. So see here, for this output x is equal to 0, for x is equal to, for y is equal to 0, you have this in particular input to come here and this particular input also to come here. So it will be addition. That's why this plus symbol. Likewise, if you want to find out what is P of y equal to 1, if you want to find out P of y is equal to 1, P of y is equal to 1 only is based on this particular thing. Okay. So so the final output is nothing but, so this is 4 by 5 actually. So 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 plus 0.25 into 1 by 2. This is nothing but 0.8. So can you understand, students? This is for binary asymmetric channel. Okay, so we can expect problems of this particular type also, students. Okay, so the capacity of a system, as you know, the capacity of a system, as you know, it's nothing but, so it is the bit rate of a system. The bit rate of a system increases with the increase in the number of signal levels to denote a symbol. A symbol can also consist of a single bit or n bits. The number of signal levels is equal to 2 power n. As the number of levels goes up, the spacing between the level decreases, increasing the probability of error occurring in presence of transmission impairments. So as you know, probability of error, as you know, okay, as you know, probability of error, for example, so probability of error for a channel, probability of error for a channel. So this is nothing but P of E. Okay, probability of channel is nothing but P of E. So probability of channel for P of E, this is nothing but, so P of E is nothing but when you transmit a binary 1. Okay, so this is nothing but the error due to 0 plus error due to 0 plus error due to 1. Error due to 0 plus error due to 1. Error due to 0 plus error due to 1. So there is nothing but the probability of error. Like Well, this is also related to bit error rate. Bit error rate or BER, which we are most commonly aware of. So bit error rate is nothing but, as you know, the bit error rate one, it is nothing but it is the ratio of errors to total number of bits. Ratio of errors to total number of bits. Ratio of errors to total number of bits. That is what we mean by bit error rate. Okay, ratio of errors to total number of bits. So the capacity of a system will also be more or less relevant to the error effect, because, as you know, capacity is a metric for a channel. Likewise, capacity is also going to be the metric for amount of information bits to be transmitted to a channel. So that is probability of error. Likewise, so most probably the bit rate should always go in accordance with the Nyquist rate. Okay, the Nyquist theorem. So the Nyquist gives the um, upper bound for the bit rate of a transmission system by calculating the bit rate directly from the number of bits in a symbol and the bandwidth of the system, assuming 2 bits per symbol per cycle, including the various harmonics. So Nyquist theorem states that for noiseless channel, C is equal to 2b log base 2 power n. Okay, so C is equal to capacity in bits per second, B is bandwidth in hertz. Okay. So as you know, the important thing here is, so you need to know how many symbols to make up. Okay, so bits will be in terms of, so symbols maybe either maybe a single bit, maybe either a single bit or more than one bit. So symbol may be either a single bit or more than one bit, depending on the modulation scheme which you are going to read. Okay, so most probably RB will be with respect to what to say, the RB will be with respect to bit rate. The bit rate will be with respect to the time duration. Okay, the bit rate RB is nothing but RB is RB is equal to, that is not, RB is equal to 1 by TB, bit duration, representing bit duration, symbol rate. And then the symbol rate. Symbol rate is RS is nothing but, it is RS is nothing but 1 by TS, or TS is the symbol duration. So these things you need to be aware of. So bit rate and nothing. So actually we are seeing information, the amount of information content in a particular symbol, or amount of information a particular bit, or when it is passed into a channel. All these possibilities you can have actually. Okay, so now we will see the possibility of how to calculate bit rate. How to calculate bit rate? So bit rate, consider a noiseless channel. Consider a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 3000 hertz. Consider a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 3000 hertz, transmitting a signal with 2 signal levels. Now earlier I just told you what is about bit rate RB, what is symbol rate TS. So we are seeing a small problem how to calculate the bit rate. So the bit rate is nothing but it is 2 times the bandwidth. So 2 times the bandwidth and log base to 2. 2 signal levels. So 2 signal log base to 2. So this is nothing but so since log base to 2 is 1, it is nothing but 6000 bits per second. Okay, so it is 6000 bits per second. Okay, so this is for the thing. Now the next problem which you can is consider the same noiseless channel. Consider the same noiseless channel transmitting a signal with four levels. So four levels means it is nothing but it is a log base to 2 power 2. So same thing, 2 into the corresponding bandwidth. So it is nothing but almost 12,000 bits per second. Almost 12,000 bits per second. So so you can just know how to calculate the bit rate and how to calculate the symbol rate, and in accordance with the time duration or in accordance with the amount of bandwidth, so you can easily find out. Okay, then next is next thing is we need to send 265 kilobits per second over a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 20 kilohertz. How many signal levels do we need? Okay, so we can use the Nyquist formula as shown. Okay, so this Nyquist formula actually this 265 kilobits per second. So 265 into 1000, 265 into 1000, 265 is 000. So which is equal to 2 into the corresponding bandwidth. So bandwidth is nothing but 20 to 10 power 3 hertz. Log base to L, number of levels, signal levels, log base to L. So our objective is you need to find out the number of L's. Levels, number of levels. L is nothing but it is if you just take the log value, anti-log value, L is nothing but 2 power 6.625. So it is around 98.7 levels. So we can try and see these sort of problems. So ultimately the important thing here is the important thing here is, so you need to what to say, so you need to know what are all the various possibilities, what are all the various possibilities for bit rate, calculating the bit rate and so on. Okay, so calculate the bit rate. So how to bit rate, most of the things are based on the Shannon's channel capacity theorem. C is equal to B log base 2. C is equal to B log base 2 or nothing but B log base to 1 plus P by N naught into B. N naught into B. Okay. So either of these two formulas you can just make use of. Okay. Either of these two you can make use of. So likewise you can have what to say. So all these concepts which we have seen is mainly based on the Shannon's theorem, channel capacity theorem or Shannon's Hartley theorem. So please make sure of having the channel capacity theorem. Okay. Okay, so whatever the case thing is that I can just expect you can expect consider problems also of this particular. Consider an extremely noisy channel. Consider an extremely noisy channel. Consider an extremely noisy channel. Consider an extremely noisy channel in which the value of the signal to noise ratio is almost 0. For this, the channel capacity, so you can calculate the channel capacity. So channel capacity comes around 0. Channel capacity comes around 0. So this means the capacity of the channel is regardless of the bandwidth. In other words, we cannot receive any data through this channel. Okay. Likewise, and the other problem which we can have is calculate the theoretical highest calculate the theoretical highest bitrate of a regular telephone line. A telephone line has a normally of bandwidth 3 kilohertz, that is 3000 hertz. The signal to noise ratio is usually 3162. So for this you're going to find out the channel capacity. So same thing once again, we are going to use the Shannon Hartley theorem for finding out the capacity. Shannon Hartley theorem. Likewise, you can expect problems on this particular type. please try to make sure of these particular concepts. So so the main thing is that try to make sure on all the formulas for preparing for any competitive exams. Okay, likewise the next problem which you can have is the signal to noise ratio is often given in decibels. So so assume that SNR and dB is in 36, channel bandwidth is 2 megahertz. So they calculate the channel capacity. So the channel capacity is found to be around. So here it is just given how to calculate the anti-log, so that it will be aware of how to calculate the anti-log, which you are all aware of. So in this case, the channel capacity comes to around 24 megabits per second. Okay, so 24 megabits per second. Now the next problem. So generally, when the SNR is very high, we assume that SNR plus 1 is almost the same as SNR 1. In these cases, the theoretical channel capacity can be simplified to so B times the signal to noise ratio by 3. So if you calculate for in comparison to the previous example, so which we have already seen, previous example with the SNR is 36 dBs and channel bandwidth is 2 megahertz. So the bandwidth 2 megahertz. See here the bandwidth is 2 megahertz. So the channel bandwidth is 2 megahertz. So it is considered to be the anti-log value is considered to be the SNR and dB values in 36 dBs. So we are just finding out and comes to around 24 megabits per second. So this is the channel capacity. Likewise, suppose for instance, if we have a channel with the 1 megahertz bandwidth, the SNR for this channel is 63. So what is the appropriate bit rate and what is the appropriate corresponding signal level? So you can calculate what is the corresponding channel capacity. So corresponding channel capacity almost comes around 6 megabits per second. Okay, around 6 megabits per second. So likewise, the next case, so the Shannon's formula gives us 6 Mbps as the upper limit. So for better performance, we choose something around 4 mega, for example. So using Nyquist formula, find out the number of levels. So channel capacity C, so bandwidth is 1 megahertz, 2 times bandwidth is mega, 1 much log base to L. So the level L is nothing but, so it is actually coming around 4 here. So you can work on these types of problems, for example, in GATE exams. So try to make sure of the Shannon's formula. Try to make sure of the Shannon's formula, so you can expect problems of these particular types for relating to channel capacity, binary eraser channel, what is the binary symmetric channel, or deterministic channel, or lossless channel. So please make sure all this type of information. So the important thing here is you need to make sure what is the channel capacity. What is the channel capacity? So while preparing for any exam, so try to make sure of all these formulas. Try to take some important hints. So signal to noise ratio is mainly considered as a dimensionless number, whereas since for analysis we are doing it in terms of decibels, so the bandwidth is infinity. So please try to make sure, students. So so this class we have seen actually what is actually this source theorem, source coding theorem. We have taken source coding. Okay, so we have seen what are various possibilities of calculating entropy and information, mutual information. All these things we have just seen. So try to make sure of all these concepts, students. So we'll be expecting problems based on this particular concepts. So try to know all these various formulas. So what is bit rate? What is symbol rate? What is the capacity? Okay, so capacity formula you need to make sure. But with respect to Shannon-Hartley theorem, it is there. Okay, likewise, this is the capacity for the binary symmetric channel, which you are aware of. So it is both the input symbols are equally likely to occur. So I can just know all these information. So probably these are the concepts with respect to source coding and with respect to channel or source coding with respect to binary symmetric channel and binary eraser channel. What is bit rate? Oh, I mean, what is bit rate? So based on this bit rate, we'll be able to transmit the amount of information in a particular symbol and so on. Okay, so this is the concepts relating to uh, the Shannon's Hartley theorem based channel capacity, mutual information, self information, and channel capacity information calculation. Okay, so